Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happiness Today YouTube channel. Of course, today is another hearing day, another pre-hearing day. Yesterday, or some few hours ago, was the case of Labour Party, Peter Obi, APC, INEC, and the rest. But today, of course, is for APM, PDP, and others. And for quick update, some of them have also been adjourned to another Saturday. You're going to get the full details. And of course, Shatima and Tinubu are also demanding that they should dismiss some of the parties' petition against them. For want of some of these details we're going to mention, before we go into the newspaper, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. But the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has asked the Presidential Election Petition Court PEPC sitting in Abuja to dismiss a petition the Allied People's Movement APM filed to nullify his election victory. Tinubu, through his team of lawyers led by Chief Akin Olujimi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria SAN, maintained that the petition was bereft of merit and substance. The APM had in its petition marked CA/PEPC/04/04/2023 contended that the withdrawal of Mr. Ibrahim Masari, who was initially nominated as the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, invalidated Tinubu's candidacy in view of selection of 131 subsection C and 142 subsection of 100 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The party argued that there was a gap of about 3 weeks between the period that Masari, who was listed as the fifth respondent in the petition, expressed intention to withdraw. It further argued that Tinubu's candidature had elapsed as at the time he nominated Shetima as Masari's replacement. According to the petitioner, as at the time Tinubu announced Shetima as the vice presidential candidate, he was no longer in a position constitutionally to nominate a running mate since he had ceased to be presidential candidate of the second respondent, having regard to the provisions of section 142 of the 1999 Constitution. More so, APM contended that Masari's initial nomination activated the joint ticket principle enshrined in the Constitution, stressing that his subsequent withdrawal invalidated said joint ticket. It therefore prayed the court to declare that Shetima was not qualified to contest as the vice presidential candidate of the APC as at February 25th, when the election was conducted by INEC, having violated the provisions of Section 35 of the Electoral Act 2022, and other nullifying and voiding all the votes scored by Tinubu in the presidential election in view of his non-qualification as a candidate of APC. Likewise, an order to set aside the certificate of return that was issued to President-elect by Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The APC had on May 8 filed a preliminary objection to challenge the competence of the petition, which it urged the court to dismiss in its entirety for lacking in merit. Similarly, both Tinubu and Shetima, who were cited as the third and fourth respondent respectively, asked the court to either strike out or dismiss the petition. Tinubu stressed that the petitioner failed to establish a reasonable course of action to warrant the nullification of his electoral victory or election victory. Meanwhile, when the matter was called on Tuesday, the party, through its team of lawyers led by Mr. M.O. Otoyibi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria SAN, adopted answers it filed on April 21 in response to pre-hearing information sheet that was issued by the court. Whereas Mr. A.B. Mahmood San led the team of 8 senior advocates of Nigeria that appeared for the INEC. Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, represented the APC, while Mr. Yomi Aliyu appeared for Masari. After all the parties adopted the answers, the 5-member panel of the court, led by Justice Haruna Samani, adjourned further pre-hearing session on the petition till Thursday, which means tomorrow or some few hours from now, Peter Obi's own will be heard again, and they'll keep, adjourning here and there. But let's continue with the news anyway. The court directed all parties to identify all applications and documents they would either concede to or object to during full-blown hearing of the matter. The panel equally directed the parties to outline issues to be determined in the petition. In other words, they are saying categorically that they should, expunge, do away with APM's political party's petition against his victory because it lacks merit. And where they're standing on the point of remember during this whole issue of election period when they were really looking for a vice, and I could remember that we had things like placeholder. You hear things like placeholder. When they brought them Masari, Nigerians were like, a Muslim ticket in Athena and all that. They said, calm down, that's just a placeholder, pending on when they'll do their consultations and their, looking at issues and all that, looking at strengths and all that, so that they can finally get a good placement and a balanced ticket for the joint ticket they had. Eventually, Shetima emerged. Many Nigerians faulted it on the grounds of the fact that it's a Muslim ticket. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a southern Nigerian, a southwestern Nigerian from the Yoruba tribe, and a Muslim as well. And Shetima here is a northerner and also of a Muslim religion. Many Nigerians believe that there should have been a balanced ticket, being that Nigeria is a diverse religious country, and all, at least most religious states should be well represented. But alas, people thought that the Muslim ticket should have been a disadvantage for APC, but it didn't happen that way. And that's the same placement ticket they are now using against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that the very moment Masari resigned, that was the very moment that joint ticket, based on the constitution, that's on the grounds of technicality, failed. That in the constitution, there's nothing like placeholder. It is either whoever you nominate eventually becomes who, and if for any reason the person resigns, that also truncated your ticket. If that flies, of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's law, which also stands, Senior Advocate of Nigerians, are also countering it that it doesn't have merit, it lacks merit. If it stands, for whatever reasons, Peter Obi may also be the next. Because the truth of the matter is, you could still remember too, Peter Obi used Donyo Okupe as his placeholder as well. And Donyo Okupe here is a Southwesterner, a Yoruba and a Christian, and Peter Obi is a Southeasterner, an Igbo and a Christian. And of course, they are looking at the fact that 3 weeks after that period, that was when the whole thing elapsed, of which they have finished everything that has to do with campaigning window period. That's when they now replaced it. Although Peter Obi's own was not that long, but whatever the case is, both of them had the same issue. So personally, I also pray that this one also does not fly. Because if it flies and it holds water, Peter Obi they may actually come for Peter Obi as well. Because the only person who didn't do all this placeholding thing amongst the 4 candidates was actually PDP and NNPP. But Atiku Abubakar from the beginning knew he wanted to go for. He did his consultation when he picked Ifeanyi Kowa. That was the only person. There was no placeholder. He picked, and that was his final ticket. All right. The same thing happened with NNPP when he picked a bishop, I think from South. He picked, that was also his final ticket. So in all sincerity, so that if we don't base anything on technicality, I pray also that shouldn't hold water for the sake of my preferred candidate. I guess that's we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section also. Have a nice time.